Good morning, this is Mayayo speaking again for trailrunningspain.com in English or carrerasdemontana.com in Spanish, and I wanted to bring you a new trail running shoes review. Well, in this case, for the second generation of the successful launch of last year by Brooks, the Brooks Caldera 2. As you note, it's a long distance trail running shoe with a good cushioning, all terrain sole, and let's say transferable upper. Now, if we take a look at its numbers, it will be retailing for about $140 in the States, euro in Europe, continental Europe. Now, it's a quite light shoe, around 290 grams. Actually, this second generation weighs just the same as the first one. There are not major changes. We will see just minor changes in the upper. The rest stays right as it was. As you say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So since it was such a successful launch, well, obviously Brooks has bet on keeping it much the way it was and just, working on minor features and advances. Now, in my particular opinion, they have missed a wonderful opportunity for improving the sole. While this 24 millimeters up front and 28 at the back, coupled with slightly overdimensioned sole here, it's 11.5 centimeters and 8.5 at the back, versus the regular 11 that we get in most of the other similar shoes in the market. Well, that wide base helps you get stability and further, cushioning. However, the nature of this rubber tended, in my previous experience with the first Caldera, was not good enough to take it outside the forest roads. If you took it onto real rocks, it wouldn't even get past 200 kilometers, barely past 100 miles. And I think that's not acceptable in a first class shoe. In my case, and I'll show you the changes versus last year. Now, this is last year's Brooks Caldera. As you see, basically it's the same concept shoe, and no major changes. Here you will be noting, the different upper where this has gone. And it's, let's say, more of a block these days, has sturdier protection, basically. And on the other hand, they have tried to enhance breathability up at the toe box, as you note. These things here just went away in favor of a more breathable shoe, which is welcome because it did prove to be hardy enough. And actually, the only, here, these were the only spots where it showed signs of tearing down, and it's been, reinforced for this case, and it doesn't seem that it may, be an issue anymore in this Caldera 2. However, the sole, as you notice, I did have to resole it after those 200 kilometers. In my case, I used a Vibram light-based take. It went perfectly. You may find other resoling solutions. But as you see, the general concept of the shoe has not changed, and thank God. Now, if looking for alternatives, obviously, the Brooks brand itself has got Cascadia for slightly more technical terrain, or Mazama here. This is Mazama 2018, if you want to go faster and more agile in the similar terrain. Now, but if you do want cushion shoes to run the long haul, well, you may have the French provide you with Raidlight Ultramax. It's also a different shoe with a polyurethane sole, quite very sturdy, very quite indestructible, to be honest, and much improved in its grip for this year, for 2017 versus the original. This is also the second iteration. Numbers, 149 euro price, 330 grams, which is quite heavier than the Caldera. On the other hand, we've got far more cushioning at 30 and 33, which means we've got a drop of 3. Very similar to this 4mm drop. As for the width of the sole in terms of stability and further cushioning, it's far wider. It's 12 up here, which is half a centimeter more, and it's 9.7 here, which is quite impressive, more than 1 centimeter more. However, this is feels soft and comfy, not only the shoe, but when you step on it, whereas the French shoe feels comfy and soft as you step on it, but it has a tougher feeling when you land on the foot, because polyurethane is such a hard, tough material. Other options, if you're into United States trail running shoes, obviously Merrell also did quite well with its newcomer last year, Merrell Agility Peak Flex, its numbers. This shoe is quite similar actually in concept. It's €130 or $130, 305 grams, slightly more than the Caldera. It's got larger lugs in case you need it for a mat or something. It's 6mm lugs. The drop is slightly bigger. It's a 6mm drop, and the cushioning, it's actually almost identical. You've got 27 here and 23 here, so you've got a bit more of cushioning, a bit more of lugs, and a bit more of grip up here. So if you would like to go with good cushioning for the long haul, but on slightly more technical terrain, well, certainly this Merrell Agility Peak Flex would be a nice choice. And last but not least, if you would like a natural running shoe and you are one of those guys into zero drop, well, obviously Ultra Lone Peak is probably the most obvious alternative, as you've got a zero drop, but you've got let's say €140, which is identical price, very similar weight, 275 here versus 290, and similar cushioning. You've got 25-25 versus 24-28 for Brooks. And in terms of the sole width, here, well, you've got 11 and 8.5, which is almost identical. You just got a half a centimeter more in the Caldera. So overall, what we've got is second generation of Caldera. It will be a good solution for you if you don't treat the sole roughly, if you are more into easy trails and forest roads, so it can go on farther miles. Let's hope that the brand did work in detail into the rubber compound. Let's hope it got it to be a bit more grippy and a bit more durable. That would be great news. We will be running an in-depth review and sharing the results with you as usual at carrerasdemontana.com in Spanish or here at trailrunningspain.com in English. See you on the trails. Bye.